and the only way to fight him is a Dinobot combiner that matches its size. What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you watch The Road to TF5. This is a web series we're talking about Transformers last night. This is episode number 107, and in this episode, we gotta talk about the toys. There's some new information about the toys, and some of that new information actually could possibly, maybe, relate to the story. So that's pretty exciting, but before we talk about that, I gotta do a countdown. And this countdown is for Super Bowl. There are 16 days left before Super Bowl, and what are we going to see on Super Bowl? A new 30-second TV spot for Transformers Last Night, brought to you by Mr. Michael Bay, and he's going to show us 30 seconds of Transformers live-action goodness in the form of a lot of really cool action. It's going to be kind of like a teaser. After all, what can you show in 30 seconds? Well, if you're Michael Bay, a lot. He's going to give us a lot. Even though it's only 30 seconds, he's going to show us stuff that's going to make us go, what? Anyways, so there are just a little bit over 2 weeks before we get to Super Bowl. Something to be very, very excited about. Anyways, moving on, let's talk about the toys. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is I want to make a correction. I talked about a masterpiece Bumblebee. MPM3 Bumblebee, I expressed that I was a little bit disappointed by knowing that we're going to see another Bumblebee. After all, I have MPM2, which is the masterpiece, the movie masterpiece Bumblebee. And I just thought that, oh, that's kind of lazy. But I would like to apologize for this mistake I made. This Bumblebee, MPM3, is completely different from MPM2. MPM2 is actually the Revenge of the Fallen 2009 Camaro Bumblebee, which was also released by Hasbro as Battle Ops Bumblebee and also by Costco as a gold metallic repainted version. So there have been 3 releases of that same mold. Now the MPM3 that's going to be released very, very soon, well, in a couple of months, that is actually going to be the Bumblebee that is based off of the 2007 Camaro as a celebration for the 10th anniversary of the Transformers live-action universe. So it's a 2007 Bumblebee. You can see that it's different. It's based off the very first movie, and the mold is totally different. And I'd like to apologize for my mistake, and I'd like to thank you everybody that commented on my mistake. So thank you very much for that information. I really appreciate it. Now I know. Alright, so with regards to this MPM3 Bumblebee, I actually might just pick this up. I'm not sure yet, but I might pick it up. I have to see more photos of it. I have to see, I guess, more visual representations, whether I see it in person or in photos, then I'll make a decision. Another thing that I'm curious about, which I'm not entirely sure about, is the scale. Is it Human Alliance or is it Leader Class? I'm not sure, I just can't tell. So that's something that I will have to wait and see. Now, with regards to this Bumblebee, there have been new information about it from Hasbro. Hasbro has a little bit of its own blog. It's called Hasbro Pulse, and they mention 3 things to know about the Bumblebee Masterpiece figure. So the news has been broken and the excitement is spilling out in the waves. The Masterpiece Bumblebee figure will be available soon, and we assume you, the fans, collectors, and more have some questions. As a preemptive strike, here are 3 things to know about this monumental action figure. So when can we expect to get it? What will it cost me? Short answer, soon. Longer answer, the Masterpiece Bumblebee figure was created for ages 8 and up and slated for release for summer 2017. Manufacturer suggested retail price $79.99. Is this modeled after TF5 Bumblebee, an earlier incarnation, or something different altogether? This Masterpiece Bumblebee figure is based on the very first Transformers live-action movie, using some die-cast parts to commemorate the film's 10th anniversary. Timeout. Does it convert? Does it ever? Much like in the first Transformers live-action movie, Bumblebee converts from his dynamic Autobot scout form into 2006 Chevy Camaro concept car. The figure also has a whopping 33 points of articulation, making it a collectible and versatile figure. The design premise allows fans to articulate figure in all sorts of movie-accurate poses. Now, it did mention that it has 33 points of articulation and also for ages 8 and up. So, just from that, I'm thinking that it sounds like it could be a Human Alliance figure. I can't be 100% sure, but those that information actually points to it being a Human Alliance figure, and it's going to be priced at 80 USD, which I find is quite expensive for a Human Alliance figure, but I'm sure some of us have paid that kind of price in the past. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is the Asia exclusive Shadow Spark Optimus Prime from the Transformers Last Night line. And what we have here is new photos from Weibo user NotRab. And judging from these photos right here, I decided I'm not going to buy him. I don't care if it's an Asia exclusive. I don't care if it is a weathered version of the leader class Age of Extinction Optimus Prime. Not interested. It just doesn't attract me in any way whatsoever. I mean, look at this. There's a lack of paint on it. I know this is supposed to be a weathered battle damage version, like a Shadow Spark Evil version, but it's not for me. Look at the vehicle mode. You can tell that the original plastic was actually this dark colored plastic, whatever it is. I can't even tell. It's like a dark blue or something, and it looks cheap. It just looks like the blue was brushed on cheaply so that it represents damage, and it wasn't on completely. And the flames are just kind of like a little bit there. But the base color of this figure is the color of its plastic, and that is that dark color, which makes it look cheap. Now here's a close-up of it. You see the purple eyes, which is a nice touch. But essentially what we have here is really just airbrushed metallic paint, some rust look on the front. But I gotta tell you, after seeing all these photos, it is not something that I'm interested in. It is something that you gotta be like a completionist type of collector if you want something like this. Or maybe you really like this. Maybe this is your cup of tea. But I'll tell you that if I had to choose this, between this and a leader class Age of Extinction Optimus Prime, I'd rather get the leader class Age of Extinction Optimus Prime. The Takara version, of course. But anyways, so I decided I'm not going to get him. Now, if you are interested to see another visual representation of the MPM3 Bumblebee and the Shadow Spark Optimus Prime, Toys Daily actually just put out a new video on their YouTube channel where you get to see these two new figures on a video. So I'm going to leave a link on the description box below and you guys can check that out. Next thing I want to talk about is Squeaks. There have been new photos for this radio-controlled Squeaks from Hasbro, and I just want to talk about them briefly. Check out this photo here, and I think that this could be the final representation of what he looks like as a toy, as a radio-controlled toy. And first thing I noticed, that huge arm on the right, and then he's got the handlebar for the arm on the left. And he's got a lot of battle damage on him, as he was supposed to have. I mean, in the photos, we've seen that he's got a lot of battle damage on him. And here is, it looks like a CG representation of him. Here he is on the front, and then here he is without color. And here is the deco sheet. And well, what do I got to say about this? Oh, and here's the photo of the remote. Okay, it's very simple. It's like a really simple toy that you give to kids. And it's nothing like the, the BB-8 app-controlled Sphero toy. It's nothing like that. It's not a smart toy. It's just a radio-controlled toy. And it's kind of cheap. And you know what? It doesn't need to be anything complicated. Squeaks is going to be a kid-friendly, kid-loved, fan-favorite type of character for what he's going to do in the film. So this type of toy is absolutely appropriate for what it represents. So it's something I'm not going to get, but it's still something that is an official toy, and it's going to be released out there, and some of you guys might want to pick them up. Now, let's get to the juicy stuff, okay? Let's talk about some of the juicy stuff with regards to the actual Transformers Last Night main line. And by main line, I'm talking about Deluxe class, Voyager class, Leader class, Masterpiece class. We're getting those. But the one thing I want to talk about really is something that's really, really mysterious. Now, they have been shrouding the release of these characters with space names. For example, names of planets: Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, the Moon, and other space-related stuff like solar flare, lunar eclipse, things like that, black hole, I don't know, just things like that. They're using these terminology in replacement of the actual characters' names because they don't want to give it away, but we will know about them soon when Toy Fair is around the corner in February. So one of these names, Mars, has been uncovered, and I don't know how they uncovered this, but it turns out that this Transformers 5 movie masterpiece Mars that's going for 80 US is Bumblebee. Now, I don't know if it's that Bumblebee that I just talked about. It does say TF5 movie masterpiece Bumblebee. So, could it be the new Bumblebee that's out there? You know, the new 2017 version that's out there, the custom one that's out there. I mean, that would be pretty cool. I'd love to see that. But then we did see, you know, all those promotional photos for the MPM3. So I don't know if it's that one, because that one is also priced at 80 USD. So could it be the same thing or a completely different toy altogether? I hope it's a different toy, because I want to see that in a masterpiece format. That would be cool. I'm talking about the 2017 custom Camaro. Anyways, it has also come to my attention that Transformers 5 movie masterpiece Jupiter is Optimus Prime. Now, how do I know this? It is because the listing is out there for that Optimus Prime on Amazon, and it turns out that, you know, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that that's a photo of Optimus Prime, even though they called it Jupiter. So Jupiter is Optimus Prime, Mars is Bumblebee. Now, the Optimus Prime masterpiece toy, we haven't seen photos for it, but the price is 100 USD, which tells you that it's something entirely new. It's something going to be that's different, okay? So it's not that Asia exclusive Shadow Spark Optimus Prime. We already know about that. This is something entirely different. I'm just really curious about that price difference. $80 for Bumblebee, $100 for Optimus Prime. So that's going to be pretty interesting. Now, there is a Transformers 5 movie masterpiece Saturn for 80 USD. Now, who could that be? Could it be Barricade? I'm thinking, is it Barricade? Could it really be Barricade? I'm not sure. I'm just throwing it out there. And it just makes sense that it could be Barricade, mainly because, well, this has nothing to do with the planet Saturn, but the Bumblebee's arch nemesis, Barricade, is out there for one last go around, okay? So I'm thinking, are we going to get another Human Alliance Barricade? Because Hasbro is kind of lazy. You know, they reissue and re-release toys that they've already released before. They just kind of repackage it differently and relabel it differently. They've done that many times. They're known for that. So I'm really curious what it's going to be. I hope it's a masterpiece hot rod. I'd really like to see that. That would be sweet. Think about it. Human Alliance, hot rod, Lamborghini. That would be sweet. Anyways, let's move on to talk about something that I find is very, very curious. And that is TF5 movie combiner set with slug for 35 USD. What the heck is that? Now, there have been there has been a combiner Dinobot set, and that is the Power Core Combiners Grimstone set. And that's something that we've seen before. I'm wondering, are they planning to repackage that and relabel it as a Transformers Last Night product? Or are we going to see an actual Transformers Combiner set with Slug? Now, the Power Core Combiner set was actually 5. Was it 5? You know what? I can't remember. But the fact is that the Combiner set turns out to be a 5-figure set. A 5-figure Combiner set plus Slug, making 6 Dinobots, or 6 figures, okay, in one package. So this could be just a toy thing. I'm not sure if it's going to end up in the actual film, like we're actually going to see Combiner Dinobots. It could happen. I mean, Combiners is something that we've seen in the Transformers live action universe. Michael Bay, you know, could be going out with a bang. You know, maybe he's really, really leaving the franchise as a director for good. So maybe he wants to throw in everything that he really wants to put in there. And one of those things is combining Dinobots, or a Dinobot combiner. Maybe he's doing that. Now, if he does decide to do that, I'm sure he wants to, I'm sure Hasbro wants to make it more accessible for the toy collectors, not just toy collectors, but also the kids, the parents, right? So making it a $35 set is pretty reasonable. Instead of buying all these Voyager classes or Leader classes, then you got to buy them all and then make them combine into a giant toy. I don't know if that's really going to happen. A combiner set, which is only $35, that's more reasonable. But is it something we're going to see in the film? I don't know. It could be. It could be. Maybe Michael Bay wants to go in that direction where bigger is better, because you always know with Michael Bay, bigger is always better. That seems to be his formula for success. But hey, maybe the size of the villain calls for a Dinobot combiner. Maybe, you know, that giant big bad villain has an equal, and the only way to fight him is a Dinobot combiner that matches its size. So, I don't know. It's possible. But who knows? We'll see. We'll find out. Okay? Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the return of Cybertron. Now, in an episode, I mentioned that there's that planet-looking thing, a broken-up planet-looking thing that we saw in the trailer that's making its way towards Earth. Eventually, it makes its way to Earth's atmosphere, and I was saying that the likelihood of it being Cybertron is pretty low, just because we've seen that before. It could be Quintessa, it could be something entirely different, but I really don't believe it's Cybertron. Even though there are a lot of hints that suggest that it could be Cybertron, I don't think it's Cybertron, just because I think that with 13 writers, you know, they could do better than that, and that is not repeat something we've already seen, and that something we've already seen is something that we saw in Dark of the Moon. I thought that they wouldn't want to repeat that, but something tells me in this toy listing that they are going to repeat it, but like a version of it, because check this out. There are 2 Planet Cybertron toys. TF5 movie Planet Cybertron for $150 US, and Planet 5 movie Planet Cybertron Deluxe for $40 US. So there are 2 Planet Cybertron toys for the Transformers Last Night line, which suggests that that planet we could see is actually Cybertron. Now that's just absolutely crazy, which means that Cybertron is making its way back. It really is Cybertron. This toy points towards it being Cybertron. Now, they're going to make a Cybertron toy for $150 and another one for $40 in a Transformers line. That planet, Cybertron, is going to transform as a toy. I don't know if it's going to transform in the movie, but it definitely is going to transform as a toy. For $150 US, it better freaking transform. I'm not paying $150 US for a freaking metallic ball. I mean, for $150 US, it's got to be like this big. You know what I'm saying? But it better transform. And of course it's going to transform. I just don't know if it's going to transform in the film. But the fact is that this actually suggests that the planet that's making its way towards Earth into its atmosphere that we see in the trailer is in fact Cybertron. I mean, it's got those hexagonal shapes that the soldiers are fighting in. So that suggests that that actually is Cybertron and not any other planet. Okay, it kind of makes sense. But like, I was just thinking that like they couldn't think of anything else. They had to bring back Cybertron. We saw Cybertron in Transformers Dark of the Moon, and now they're going to bring it back. They have to do something really, really different. And they are. They have to. Alright? They're not going to repeat the same sort of thing. This is going to be very, very interesting. And this is going to be interesting to know what new story are we going to know or learn about Cybertron. What new interesting elements are we going to learn about the planet? If they're bringing a planet down there, could they be bringing back its inhabitants as well? So anything could happen. But it's something that is all up in the air until we get more information about it. Cybertron is back. We're getting a toy where Cybertron transforms. We just don't know if the Cybertron that we see in the movie is actually going to transform. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section below. Alright, so that's all I got to say in this episode. It's all very, very exciting. I'm excited about the toys. I'm excited about the movie. And something else that I'm excited about is this contest. This contest that we're not actually participating in, but we are helping someone else win. And that is, remember the muscle car contest, for the 2017 Toronto Auto Show? Ryan has won the first round. Thanks to you guys. Thank you everybody at the Transformers community and the Ragin Nation. Ryan has won the first round. Alright, so he's a fan favorite, and it's all because of voting. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks so much for helping out. Now he's got to win the second round. The second round is actually something that's a little bit more complicated. Well, I don't want to say complicated, but it's got a few more steps. You got to vote using Facebook. I'm going to leave you a link in the description box below, and it starts in the morning, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, all the way to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Standard Time on Friday. That would be January 19th. So you got to head over there, log into Facebook, and vote. And if you're not logged into Facebook, just log in. It doesn't cost you anything. It's not hard to do. Okay, all you gotta do is just log into Facebook and just click vote. It's as simple as that. And if we made it through round 1, we can definitely help him make it to round 2. And if he wins, then we win. And what do we win? We win the fact that we know that we can help each other. At some point in time, some of you guys are gonna need each other's help. And to know that we can actually get each other's back is worth it to me. Knowing that I can ask you for help, knowing that you can always ask me for help, or knowing that you can ask somebody else in this community for help, that is a reward within itself, to know that we have a tight-knit community. So help him win round 2, and if he wins, then like I said before, we win. Alright, so there you have it. Thank you so much for helping out. The last thing I'd like to ask of you is to subscribe to this channel. Alright, subscribe, and not only subscribe, hit that notification button beside the subscribe button. You see the little gear there? Click that and then hit that you want to be notified for video updates. Once you click that, you will have a new video show up on your feed. And if you do that, hit up, type in the comments, notification squad, alright? Just type that. I noticed a lot of people have been typing that. I'm going to give you a thumbs up on your comment, okay? So thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate your subscription. It really helps me out, and it shows me that you support me and you want to see more videos. Alright, so there you have it. Let me know in the comment section below if that's Cybertron, or if you think that we're going to see something entirely different, or could it be Primus? You know what, I want to hear your thoughts, and also don't forget to vote for Ryan by logging into Facebook, and also make sure you hit subscribe. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation, also follow me on Twitter, Ragin Nation. My name is Alex, thanks for watching, see you next time, peace. Cybertronians that took on forms of World War I or II military vehicles, or just vehicles in general during that time.